I used to think the worst part of working in an office was the constant meetings or maybe the endless emails. But nope. For me it was something much simpler, and much more annoying. Someone was stealing people's lunches from the fridge. Now, I'm not talking about a one-time mistake or someone accidentally grabbing the wrong container. No, this was a pattern. People would label their food. I even wrote my name in bold, permanent marker on my lunch tubs, and still, somehow, food kept disappearing. At first, it was just frustrating. You pack your lunch, you look forward to it all morning, and when lunch break hits, it's gone. Just like that. And the weirdest part? The person doing it would sometimes come forward and be like, "Oh, I didn't see a name on it. I thought it was mine." Every single time. They'd say sorry, laugh it off, and go on with their day. And the rest of us? We just had to suck it up and order overpriced food from the cafe downstairs. Now, this might not sound like a big deal to some people. Even our managers didn't take it seriously. They treated it like a joke. But imagine this happening once or twice a month for a whole year. That's my story. But eventually, I had enough. I wasn't going to fight or argue. I decided to solve this problem the way I knew best, with a little heat. And by heat, I mean ghost chili peppers. Yeah. Things were about to get spicy, literally. It didn't take long before I noticed a pattern. At first, I thought I was being paranoid. Maybe I had forgotten my lunch at home. Maybe someone really did grab it by accident. But no, it wasn't just happening to me. Every couple of weeks, someone else in the office would complain about their food going missing. And it always played out the same way. The lunch would disappear, people would get annoyed, and then, magically, our repeat offender would say something like, "Oh no, that was your food? I didn't see a name on it. I thought it was leftovers or up for grabs." Every single time. And somehow, every single time, they had the same fake surprised face, like they were shocked by the idea that food with someone else's name on it could possibly not be theirs. Then came the casual apology. "Oops, sorry about that. I was in a rush and didn't even look. Won't happen again." No guilt. No effort to replace the food. Not even a coffee as a peace offering. Just a lazy sorry, and back to scrolling on their phone. And this didn't just affect me. People all over the office were annoyed. You'd hear it in the break room. "Ugh, someone took my salad again. My meal prep's gone. Has anyone seen my sandwich?" It became this running joke, like some kind of weird mystery no one could solve, even though we all knew who the culprit was. But the worst part? Management didn't care. We brought it up. More than once. And every time we got the same shrug and the same tired answer. "We can't police the fridge. Just put your name on it. Maybe use a lunch bag instead of a container." Seriously? It was like telling someone who got their bike stolen to just buy a better lock instead of catching the thief. We weren't asking for a security camera or a fridge guard. We just wanted someone to acknowledge that this wasn't okay. But nope. No consequences. No warnings. Nothing. So eventually the office just gave up. People stopped complaining. Some started hiding their food in odd places, behind frozen peas, tucked in drawers, or even keeping it at their desks. But I had a different plan. So I decided it was time to put an end to it. I wasn't going to argue anymore. Wasn't going to send another passive-aggressive email. I was going to do what everyone else wanted to do, but didn't. I was going to catch the thief. And not just catch them, I wanted them to regret ever opening my lunchbox. So I did a little research. Spent some time online looking up recipes that looked totally normal, but packed a hidden punch. And then I found it, ghost pepper chili. It looked innocent enough. A regular homemade chili, ground beef, beans, tomato sauce. But it was loaded with ghost pepper flakes. Not one, not two. I'm talking 4 times the usual amount. Enough to make someone's eyes water just from smelling it. I cooked it the night before, carefully packed it in a nice little Tupperware container, and even labeled it clearly, "My lunch. Do not touch." Then I placed it in the fridge the next morning, and waited. At lunch I walked into the break room, opened the fridge, and surprise, my container was gone. Bingo. I walked calmly to my desk and sat down like nothing happened. But inside, I was grinning. 15 minutes later, it started. First coughing. From across the office. Then some sniffling. Some dramatic throat clearing. A coworker turned red, beet red, and rushed to the water cooler. Everyone noticed. People asked, "Are you okay?" He was sweating, gasping, waving his hands, saying something about chili being way too spicy. But I didn't say a word. I just sat there, eating a sandwich I had secretly brought from home. Because that chili? That wasn't for me. It was for him. The next day he didn't come in. Rumor was he had gone to the doctor. Something about stomach pain, nausea, maybe even food poisoning. I didn't say anything. Just kept to myself, acting like I knew nothing. But deep down, I was hoping this would finally stop the lunch thefts. But nope. 2 weeks later, I get called into an HR meeting. Now, I'm not stupid. I knew exactly what this was about. The guy didn't just get sick, he blamed me. He probably told HR I poisoned him. That I was dangerous. That I brought unsafe food into the workplace. So I did what anyone in my situation should do. I lawyered up. Not literally, but I asked HR to delay the meeting so I could bring someone with me, a witness. That bought me 24 hours. That night, I made another batch of the chili. But this time, I added just one ghost pepper into a single tub. Just enough to prove my point, not to burn anyone's insides. I packed it, labeled it, and brought it to the meeting. When we sat down, HR looked serious. They said I could face disciplinary action, maybe even termination, for poisoning a fellow employee. I stayed calm. Then I asked a simple question. Did the employee admit to stealing my lunch? HR paused, looked at their notes, then nodded. Yes, but that's not what this meeting is about. Wrong answer. I pulled out my tub of chili and said, this is what I brought to work. It's my food. I like spicy food. Is there a rule saying I can't eat spicy food? My manager, who was with me, backed me up. He even took a bite of the chili right there in the meeting. Said it was spicy, sure, but not dangerous. I took a bite too casually. Like it was no big deal. I even offered some to the HR rep. They declined, obviously. But the point was made. I didn't poison anyone. Someone stole my lunch. And got exactly what they deserved. The meeting ended. No punishment. No write-up. And most importantly, no one took my lunch again. At least not for a while. A week passed. No stolen lunches. No snarky remarks from him. Just silence. It was peaceful. Almost too peaceful. But then I noticed he started bringing his lunch from home. Carefully labeled, Tupperware organized, all locked in a little cooler bag. Like he'd suddenly become the model employee. I didn't trust it. One day during break, I saw him talking to another coworker, and that's when I overheard something that made my blood boil. He said I was a psycho, someone who booby-trapped food, and that I should have been fired. He was playing the victim. So I decided it was time to end this. For good. I put together a folder of everything, every Slack message where I complained, every email to HR, every report from others whose lunches had gone missing, and even screenshots of our company chat where he had once joked about trying a bite of someone else's food. I sent it all to the department head with a single line. If I'm getting called in for HR meetings, I want to know why this guy has never been held accountable. That email made its way up the chain, fast. 3 days later he was suspended. Turns out he had a history, small things like taking office supplies, making offhand comments, showing up late and blaming others. The lunch theft was just the tip of the iceberg. Eventually, he was fired. No farewell email. No goodbye party. Just gone. The fridge stayed untouched after that. Everyone got a little more careful. But mostly, they got respectful. I started leaving little sticky notes on my containers. Spicy, eat at your own risk, winking face. But no one dared touch them. Sometimes justice isn't about revenge. It's about making sure people can finally eat in peace. Have you ever dealt with an office lunch thief or an annoying coworker who thought the rules didn't apply to them? Share your story in the comments. We're ready for the drama popcorn. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Trust me, the next story is even juicier eyes.